Abraham Maslow was born in 1908 in Brooklyn, New York. He was a psychologist, and he is known as the father of humanist psychology. At the time, psychology had two main branches, which was psychoanalysis, done by Freud, and behaviorism, that was started by Skinner. He didn't like those branches of psychology, and he wanted to make his own branch of psychology. So he started out with humanist psychology, which gave more thought to human qualities for people instead of just having them act like animals or testing on animals like behaviorism did. He is most famous for his hierarchy of needs. The hierarchy of needs has affected more branches than just education, but has also been used in the workplace and in other areas that have motivation, as an example. The educational ideas that come from the hierarchy of needs. Number one is the hierarchy of needs. The hierarchy of needs is a pyramid-based diagram, but the theory is that people need to have, in order to learn, they have to have their basic needs met. So the hierarchy of needs, there's 5 basic levels according to Maslow, and those are psychological, safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. The second idea from the educational ideas is the psychological needs. So basic human needs need to be met before learning can occur. So the basic human needs would be food, safety, shelter. Those things need to be met before learning can actually occur. Some examples of the the physiological needs are food, water, shelter, and clothing. Some examples of safety are security in job, in resources, in health, having property. The third level is the love and belonging. It's about connections, and that is friendship, intimacy, and family. The fourth level is esteem, and that has respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. The last level of the pyramid of the hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. Self-actualization is a theory that humans will reach their full potential of that individual. It gives them their purpose, their creativity, their problem-solving skills. And the third idea based on self-actualization is that humans can reach their full potential when they reach self-actualization. When they fully progress to those needs and progress to those other levels, then they can finally reach their potential as a human. But they must work through the other levels of the hierarchy first. The educational influences are first the implication and implementation of the hierarchy of needs in the classroom. Now that teachers are aware and this theory has happened, teachers can be more sensitive to children's needs and students' needs in the classroom. For instance, if a student is hungry, or if they haven't slept, or if they are thirsty, those things like that can be such a block for them to be able to learn and to progress, because they're focusing on the fact that they're hungry, or they didn't get enough sleep last night, or things like that. So it also can go into safety if they don't have a safe environment, if they don't feel safe at school. All of these things can affect students, and they won't be able to progress into a learning zone, basically, because they are focused on their basic needs. The second educational influence is motivation in the classroom. Now, because of motivation, we know that students don't always come in motivated to learn. We can look at the hierarchy of needs and see that we must look at those physiological needs and those safety needs and the love and belonging needs before students are really ready to learn. So teachers can implement that in their classroom as motivators. So for instance, if a student is not learning well, they can look and say, oh, they might need a snack, or maybe they're tired, maybe today I should let them nap in class, and then they will be able to reach their potential of learning. Also, the third level the third influence that it has on education is that humanist psychology has roots in existentialism, which is student-based learning, and it's inquiry-based. And reaching a student's full potential. Students construct knowledge, and so those all have the same roots, and humanist psychology really has those roots in the existentialism theory and philosophy of learning. One critique of Maslow is that human needs are not always in a hierarchy. It's not concrete. Somebody might have a need for food, a need for love, and a need for safety, and it doesn't necessarily move in a concrete order. So that is a big criticism of Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. People can have needs at different levels. Also, different cultures take in different needs. It doesn't always move through the same level of the hierarchy in different cultures because they have different cultural beliefs, and they might not see self-esteem or things like that as much as an important as Americans do. A personal critique is that I actually like Maslow's theory, and I use that a lot in my class, the cliche, Maslow before Bloom. I teach preschool, but I always look at a student's physiological needs and their safety needs and their love needs, and I know that once those needs are met in a preschooler, that learning can occur. But I think that it negates to acknowledge about coping mechanisms. People can be successful even when their life isn't going well. When we think about humans and not just students, but well, really students in general too. People can learn and they can be successful when they're going through things like a divorce or their family is kind of falling apart for a student. When humans have bills or people have problems with their health and things like that, people can still be successful even though they have these needs in the hierarchy of needs, that they have these basic needs. They can still progress and find self-actualization. People can be successful even when they're battling health problems or things like that, or maybe their relationships are falling apart. I wanted to end this with a quote from Abraham Maslow. It says, "All of life is education, and everybody is a teacher, and everybody is forever a pupil."